we're going to look in a little bit different angle at going into the neckline to knit the band right onto it. People seem to like this idea but have a little trouble understanding what's going on. This is not a whole sweater. It's just a piece of one. It ends here. And in real life, you would have a back sewn to this shoulder. I think I actually got my tab on the wrong side, but for demo purposes, it does not matter. In fact, in real life, it doesn't matter either. So here is our shoulder tab on one side, our neckline curve. In the center, you can see these were the stitches originally bound off. These were the additional decreases. And I made a little mistake here, but we're just going to pretend that we don't notice it and go for it. Here are the questions I get asked most. What side do I start from? You should be able to see the knit side, assuming that's going to be the right side of the work. You do not have to start with a knotted loop, but it's easier to do so. You can just pull a loop through and then limit its size yourself if you want to. But for demo purposes, this is going to be easier for me. I'm going to begin at the shoulder, and here's question number 2. You do include the tabs. If you need to start on the other side because it's easier for you because you're left-handed, that's fine. Doesn't matter which way you go. I push through next to a column of stitches, pull up a loop. Where I'm matching rows to stitches, what I'm making are stitches, but we're working into rows. You have to learn to assess what's even and divide the stitches that you've been told to use evenly. Sometimes it takes 2 tries, but that's no big deal, because if a try doesn't work out well, you just do that and begin again. So I'm going to work on around. We're pushing through from the front, the knit side, pulling loops up. We've selected a crochet hook. This is actually a Tunisian hook so that the stitches don't fall off of it. We've selected one size so as to create the loops that we need in size to put on the loom. So what we're fundamentally doing is casting on the neckline and seaming it at the same time. Now I'm starting to work around the curve. Wherever I'm working into stitches, my personal technique is to actually work into the stitch. There's the bind off that I'm tapping, and I'm working into the last stitch. There's the next one. Occasionally it gets a little bit tight, but that is workable and actually a good thing for the looks of the finished project. And I think this answers the questions. Reviewing, let's look at it developing. My row of loops comes from one shoulder, inclusive of the shoulder tab if you're knitting a baby size that has one, down and around the neckline curve, and then it'll go up the other side. If there was a back here, we'd just go on across the back and finish at the other shoulder. And these are the loops that will be hung on the loom, which I think was pretty clear from the first video. So this part of this project is actually easy once you understand it. Work from the knit side, pull loops through from the back to the front, so you can see when I turn this what we'll call the seam. It's actually the edge of the original sweater neck, including the bind off. That will be on the inside where we want it. We don't have to look at it. Now, just a reminder, much as I love this method, if it gives you trouble, you don't have to do it, because there are 2 other methods that are entirely presentable and make good sweaters, also given on the video. But once you master this, you may like it. Whoops, I'm hooked on something. There we go.